I'm Dr. Bhavani Malia. Today I'm going to discuss on Unit 2 of Marketing Research, Applications of Marketing Research and Ethical Issues. The contents are Introduction, Marketing Research in India, Ways of Conducting Marketing Research in India, New Technologies in Marketing Research, Common Applications of Marketing Research, Adoption of Marketing Research by Indian businesses, the ethical issues that is occurring in India and marketing research, then problems in conducting marketing research in India. At last, the summary of the topic. At the end of this topic, we will be able to describe the status of the marketing research industry in India and appreciate the role of new technologies in marketing research, explaining the common applications of marketing research, access Indian businesses, adoption of marketing research, then outline the ethical consideration for conducting marketing research studies, and at last, not the least, examine the difficulties in conducting marketing research in India. In our previous class, we discussed how it is important, what is the need of marketing research. Then let us know what is the ethical issues in marketing research. We will discuss the role and organization of marketing research in India. More specifically, we shall explore as to why marketing research is becoming important in India and what organizational arrangements have for conducting researches. That is most important before going to marketing research. Major users to use measures for marketing research in the country shall be identified, and in this unit, we will also examine the problems which the researchers face while doing research in India. In our second component, that marketing research in India, we can see here, according to Statista, we can see the graphs according to that graph. The size of marketing research industry globally is around $74 billion, with more than half coming from within the US. So, same according to Homer states that the post-COVID market research industry is anticipated to cover at a CAGR of 4.1% from 2021, reaching $82.87 billion in 2023. We can see it clearly here. In 2017, it was 11.5 to 12.5, where it increases to 16.7 to 18 in 2020. The same way, it is remained constant or remained some down in the 2021, that is 15.8 to 17.2, which again increased a remarkable height, that is 29.1 to 31.3 in the year 2026 expectedly. So we are expecting that it may reach to 82.87 billion in the it was in 2023, and it may definitely increase in the coming years. As per the report by Market Research Society of India, the marketing research industry, which was 2.1 billion in the financial year 2021, is expected to grow to 14 to 12 to 14% annually and reach 4.2 billions by financial year 2026. Similarly, it is expected that it will touch $10 billion by 2030. The revenue growth trend is shown in the figure 2.1, which I have already been explained that the sources is revenue trajectory of Indian research industry. That is the information we had collected. So currently, around three-fourths of the industry's revenue is gathered or generated from international outsourced market accounts. In financial year 2021, marketing analytics services contributed 52% to total industry revenue, while traditional market research and syndicated, which is known as publishing services, contributed to 32% and 16% respectively, which is clearly reflected. By 2006 financial year, analytics services are projected to grow up to 59%, which is near about to 60%, with market research and syndicated or publishing services decreasing to 27% and 14% respectively. The FMCG and retail sectors lead in research revenue contribution at 27%, followed by informations, communications, and telecom, which is contributing only 16%, and BFSI is contributing 15%. That is given in the next table. The table outlines the structure of Indian market research industry. By 2030, the industry's projected growth surpassing the $10 billion marks. So, India's strength in talent, technology, infrastructure, cost efficiency, and data capabilities is expected to drive significant expansion in these sectors. We can see here in the table 2.1 that information is about Indian market research industry structure. These are the components and the contribution, percentage contribution toward the market is given here. The growth of the market research in India is unmistakable. This expansion is driven by rapid advancements in telecommunications and technology, and the rise of the tech savvy middle class and a youthful population attuned a global consumer trends. We can see here also it's reflected in the table. Additionally, in India offers a cost-effective research environment, making it an attractive destinations for outsourcing. As a result, the number of Indian market research firms has surged, drawing increasing interest from American and European companies seeking quality insights at lower costs. The shift is not only transforming India into a global research hub but also reshaping how global businesses accesses consumer intelligence. We can see here that in consumers of EMA services that covers FMCG and retail sectors, information, communication, and telecom, that is ICT, which covers only 16%, banking, financial services, and insurance, BFSI, which has already discussed, it is contributed only 15%, manufacturing contributes 10%, media 9%, it is now declining. We can see here utility service that is only 1%. If we study the customer location, that is domestic or international, it is 24 and 76 percentage only. Services offered in traditional market research, which is 32, whereas syndicated or publishing services, it is only 16%. So marketing analytics services is 52%, and these are the other marketing components which are contributing in percentage is compared here, which is the lowest one is field marketing agencies. It is only 1%. So the primary factor driving international demand for market research in India is its significant cost advantage. So data processing in India costs nearly 50% less than in developed countries, fueling rapid growth in the outsourcing sectors, which is doubling the value each year in India. India also benefits from having the world's second largest English speaking population as a stable political environment. Its expanding middle class, composed of brand aware and tech savvy youth, further enhances its appeal. Additionally, India has cultivated a skilled workforce of market research professionals capable of delivering high quality methodologies, data analysis, and reporting, making it a top choice of global companies seeking research outsourcing solution. Nowadays, report writing and different technical tools for data analysis is too important, which is growing very fastly, and India is also moving with that trend. In third section, the way of conducting marketing research in India, we can see here companies can conduct marketing research either in-house or outsourcing to external agencies, with some opting for a combination of both. So sometimes we can see the companies are there who are only doing the research or the things in-house, and few are by external agencies, they are outsourcing the person, and few companies are there, they are doing the both. So large organizations often establish dedicated research departments due to frequent research need despite the high costs. So it is better to having a research department as because questions and problems are always there. So we need to solve these things with the experts. So once we had a research unit, then it will be easy for the companies to tackle or to solve the problem by doing research on that. So smaller businesses or those with occasional research requirement typically assign research tasks to sales or marketing staffs. However, since these individuals often lack specialized training and also handle irregular duties, the quality of such research may be limited. It is also true as there are several works with the marketing staffs. So it may occur that the research which will be conducted by them may be low quality or will not meet that level which is actually required. So, engaging external specialists like research firms, ad agencies, or consultants is a key method of gathering marketing information. With rising demand, many marketing research companies now offer customized and syndicated services which is already published. So, customized research is tailored for one client and fully funded by them, while syndicated research collects data for multiple clients, reducing individual costs that is beneficial for the company. And the syndicated studies are often conducted regularly and shared through subscriptions. So, the most common data collection method utilized by the marketing research companies in India is interviews. So, these interviewing techniques are among of the top 10 commonly used method, and it includes in-depth interviews. CATI, the meaning is computer assisted telephonic interviews, computer assisted personal interviews, paper and pencil interviews, and face-to-face interviews. Focus group, internet surveys, desk research, mystery shopping, and recruiting the additional frequently used methods are very popular in collection of data in research. So some businesses also uses panel and ethnographic methods. So we can see here prior to this technologically savvy days, before to that we had common interview method by direct method or interview method, interview indirect method. So many methods were there when the computer came into it and the use of AIs. Now, few new ways of taking of interview came to us, and we are also using this method in the research, like collection of data. So these are known as computer-assisted telephonic interviews, which was priorly not there in the research data collection method. So we can see here in table 2.2, interviewing method used in marketing research in India. Nowadays we are using very different method, convenient method which will be convenient for the respondents as well as the data collection group. That the first one is in-depth interviews, which is 71% in use. Focus group, when we are targeting a population or a few people, from them we are collecting data, that is contributing 69%, which is very equal to the in-depth interviews. online surveys nowadays, we are frequently getting a link after buying or after taking any kind of services. That link asks in a number of questions, a few questions regarding that services and many more things. So this is known as online surveys. And computer assisted telephonic interviews are also there, we are facing, that is contributing 64 percentage. Then desk research contributing 44%, and computer assisted personal interviews contributing 42% in the collection of data. Then mystery shopping, suddenly shopping or interviewing the person contributing 42%, recruiting contributed 40%, and paper and pencil interview and face-to-face interview, it is contributing 38%. Now we can compare from the table that the face-to-face interview or paper and pencil interview, which is physically offline mode, where we can say direct method, is contributing only 38%. We can imagine this as because nowadays everyone is technical savvy, and we have no time to talk, or we have no time to discuss or filling of the forms by the investigator. So now these methods are very less in use, but somehow there are few situations where definitely require this type of interview rather than the other different methods of data collection. So many companies offer project specific marketing research services to their clients, and that as exhibited in table 2.3. So different methods are there. It is written in the table 3. Different components are there, and their contribution percentage is also given. We can see here report writing is the second most common type, and the majority of companies did offer the full range of these services, including collecting data, analysis, and report writing, which is the most important part of the research. If we are not carefully doing the collection of data, any step like collection of data or analyzing the same data, or after data collection analysis also, if we are not writing the report properly, or we are not interpreting the result, then definitely we may lead to a fallacious result, or there will be no work with that result. So you must be very careful about that. So in our table, there are 10 contents are there: the data analysis and processing, data collection, report writing, survey programming, data entry and tabulation, open-ended coding. Coding is most necessary to feed or to code the data. So otherwise we cannot analyze by using any statistical tool or any other tools for analysis of the same data. So data cleaning and validation, it is also important. Without validation, we cannot go for any kind of research or any kind of analysis. Then transcription, questionnaire designing, multivariate analysis after that. So we can see here questionnaire design and multivariate analysis is contributing 27% only, but the highest percentage of contribution is there in data analysis and processing. But prior to that, these two are more important for the researcher. In our fourth component, that new technologies in marketing research, we can see India has made remarkable strides in the digital space, with internet users growing from 0.62 millions in 2010 to 843.06 million in 2021. What a huge gap is there. What is the, we can check here how it is exponentially growing, making the second largest online population globally. We can see here it is clearly reflected from the data we had here. Statista projects this number will reach 1.5 billion by 2040 as per the statistics, and driven primarily by the by the widespread use of smartphones, now found in 84% of Indian households. It is correct. It may be, we don't know what will happen in future. It is in between. It is 84%. then it will definitely cross the limit. And the use of smartphones and internets is much mean now. Since 2010, the availability of affordable mobile phones has boosted digital access and literacy. So, recognizing the potential in telecommunications, the Indian government further deregulated the sector, and in 2016, the same case we were discussing in previous class in the research how Reliance Jio successfully launched and how it is handling and tackling the market now till now. So, what happened in 2016, the Reliance Jio revolutionized the market by offering low cost, high speed 4G data and free voice calls, promoting competitors to reduce prices and significantly expanding access to mobile internet across the country. This is the best example of research how here the launch of Reliance Jio in 2016, all the different facilities which was offered by the Reliance at that time only possible by the research only, otherwise it was not to be happen. Technological advancements have greatly benefited Indian marketing researchers by reducing cost and enabling faster, more efficient data collection through digital means. So, the rise of social media and increased digitalization during the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the shift from traditional costly method to online research. So today's tools like AI, machine learning, and big data are enhancing the accuracy and speed of market analysis. So AI's ability to process data in multiple languages is specifically valuable in India's diverse linguistic landscape. So new technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning are expected to provide substantial opportunities as they will enable faster analytics and report creation. So according to the future trends in marketing research are follows like augmented reality and virtual reality. Virtual environments can be used for product concept testing, early stage product feasibility analysis, and understanding consumer behavior. Artificial intelligence helps derive insights from a large set of data. Interpreting interpreting natural language discussions with the aid of technology, online qualitative research, and social listening for a detailed understanding of the market and customers. Combining the capabilities of real-time research with agile market research could result in a comprehensive perspectives of a consumer's past, present, and future habits at the rate at which they change. Here we can say the common application of marketing research in 2.4 that what are the contents. There are also 10 contents and their contribution percentage is there. Marketing research is frequently used to make decisions about new products development, market share estimations, competitors information gathering, demand estimation, product modification decisions, customer satisfaction measurement, product positioning, market segment and diversification decisions, advertisement, theme, theme decisions, pricing decisions, customer service decisions, product elimination decision, and channel evaluation. So many things are there required or in marketing research you can say. So, an exploratory investigation of marketing research services in India by Siegel and Min details the types of studies and specialized services offered by Indian marketing research. As exhibited in table 2.2, 2.4, customer satisfaction survey are the most frequently requested research service in India, and advertising research is the second most used technique, following usage and attitude research, consumer research, concept and product testing, brand and pricing research, tracking studies, and segmentation research are the follows. So we can see here tracking study, which is contributing only 33%, and the pricing research is only 36%. The same way it is increasing, that brand and research general is 38%, product testing type of research is 40%. The same is concept testing research. Consumer testing research is it's about 42%, and the highest percentage of contribution is customer satisfaction and loyalty, which is most important for the company to take any kind of decision or to improvise, or what is requirement for the company to sustain in the market or to face the competitor is required. So Indian marketing research companies provide a wide range of specialized services, with consulting being the most widely used, that is 54%. It is clearly reflected here in the power table 2.5. This includes areas like market analysis, customer and retail insights, brand management, pricing strategies, and social media intelligence. Retail audits are the second most common service, that is 38%. We can see here social research contributing 29%, and audit, the general research, is contributing only 13%. But the consulting research is the highest one, it is 54% now, and the second highest is real audit research, that is 38%. So 29% of the firm offers social research services, highlighting its growing importance in the Indian market research landscape. So, according to M. Sharma, the Indian business community has not accepted marketing research to its fullest arch. There are two reasons: that India represents a fortunate case of seller's market from the angle of manufacturers and marketers. Second is, there is no need to go in for this costly exercise. The majority of business houses are of the very strong opinion that systematic marketing research calls for a lot of time and talent, just like census. If the same amount of time, money, and talent were to be used for expansion of other purposes, then it would be more profitable than wasting it on marketing research when firms are making profits without it too. So this is a traditional concept, or sometimes we are thinking that in marketing research we are going to lose a huge amount of money, talent, and manpower also, and time, which is most valuable nowadays. We are going to incur. So without that also, there is a survival and winning situation in the market. So why should we expend, or why should we incur that amount of expenses in the marketing research? Even without marketing research also we are going, or we are winning. But the best example is there in the Reliance Geo, that we should understand. But few people are there, or the traditional concepts or mindsets are there. So why should we go for the marketing research for spending with this amount of money, time, and talent? So according to Saw, that it supports this by stating that Indian companies understand the importance of marketing research and use it effectively. However, they are amongst the lowest paying countries for marketing research. But few companies are there, the managers or researchers are there, they understand the importance of research, so they are paying. But we can say here, we can say it is the lowest paying countries in the marketing research as India. So the business community is happy with the market information supplied freely by the intermediaries such as wholesaler, retailers, and agents. They do not believe in deliberate efforts to collect, analyze, and interpret the market information. As we have a traditional bias or traditional concept that as we are getting all the information from the intermediaries, so why should we go for the research that will cover the again collection of data, analysis of data, then interpret whether it will be correct or not? We do not believe. So many Indian infrastructure manufacturers do not have the operational freedom to manufacture and price products as they like. For example, we can say in the automobile industry, early changes in the models is not permitted. So several items are reserved for the small scale sector. Under these restricted working conditions, the manufacturers say that marketing research is of no use. As because this is a best case that we have some restrictions. So if we are obeying that kind of restriction or it is on our head, then why should we go for the research? Again, if we are going to the research and we are finding something to use, something to change that is in use, we cannot do as because we have tied our hand and leg that we are restricted with some conditions by the company. So many firms capable of spending on marketing research questions the validity of it, stating that marketing research is not a panacea to business like product failure, reduced profits, then and willing the profitability, and so on. These are the cases where we are not willing for the marketing research. Even if the company welcomes marketing research, it cannot substitute managerial decisions. We know that research results or the interpretation of the research outcomes will help us to take a good decision. We know that, but again, we are thinking that yes, marketing research is there. We are thinking that that it cannot substitute the managerial decision as it is the experienced one, or the decision is from the experienced person from his or her experience. So it is only an aid and not an end of itself. So these are the thinking or thought process of Indian companies, and that's why accordingly the Indian marketing research. However, business conditions are rapidly changing. India is not going to remain a sailor market forever. Competitions is increasing. Consumer behavior is rapidly changing. So there is therefore a good scope of marketing research in India in competitive and competitive non-competitive activities is there. So for that, we have few rules according to Irvin line. He given few lines, or we can say that few rules to obey. In 2019, he gave in rule one. He is saying that speak their languages. India's 22 official languages have 400 different dialects. Researchers should be able to communicate with the different groups effectively. The first rule says be language friendly. Do communicate with the persons or the people with their languages. The first rule says. Rule number two says don't get lost in translation flowing from rule one. Is the need for translation of research to different languages. However, literal or pure translations often do not account for true spoken languages, and they can often lead to misinterpretations by both interviewers and respondents. That's why it's always in the researcher's best interest to work with a local translation partner who understands the local slang. So, as we are staying in the India and we are talking about the Indian marketing research, India contains many languages. It is the beauty of India, and there are many languages. So, as for the first rule, it says So we should go for each languages. We should be very friendly about all the languages with a translator, as it is not possible for the researcher to understand and to communicate with the respondent with their language. But the language gap at a very huge, and we should eliminate, as a researcher we should eliminate. Once we eliminate, then we will get know about what is the need and what is the requirement. Again, in second rule we are saying, once we translated flowing from rule 1, well, as we are translating the languages, don't go away once we understand the problems. Literal or pure translations often do not count for true spoken language. So that's why it's always in the researcher best interest to work with a local translation partner who understands the local language. Otherwise, we cannot understand, or we cannot, if we will not be able to understand, then how we will communicate. So the best way is to be having with a translator which is very friendly with the local languages. Rule 3 says, respect the culture. There are a number of cultural elements that must be considered before launching a research project in India. It has a strong influence on their perspectives. It is very clear and it is very obvious that whenever we are going to approach any kind of research in any different location which is not our location, we are going to access any other location, then we must be aware of their taste, their culture, what is the importance of the culture there, and which one is important, how we will behave to the culture. It should be very important, it should be carefully handled. It is important because every researcher should have a knowledge that we have to respect their culture. Then only we can go for any kind of research project in India. So in rule 4, we are saying do not always rely on modern technology. That point says there is a need to bring managerial expertise while interpreting the data. We know in the research, in analysis of data, there are many methods and tools to analyze the data, but sometimes we have to rely on the managerial expertise. Sometimes the analysis part may not lead us a right way, but we have to some rely on the managerial expertise, which is having a very good experience, and that experience will lead us in the right way of the research. The fifth point says be aware of fraud interviews. So what it says, which is the most important nowadays, by this we all the people who are technically savvy or little bit idea about technology, or little bit we are in contact of technology, we are suffering nowadays. What is that? That the term is fraud interviews. So we are in the rule 5, the author is saying, be aware of the fraud interviews. It could demonstrate a pattern of straightlining questions or steer the interviews towards the shortest path of the completion. So we must be very careful about the rule 5. All are most useful and important. But the last one is very important, that we must be very careful about the fraud interviews. Then, in ethical issues, ethics, in every section, in every subject, in every paper, the ethics should be there, which is the beauty. And we should understand, respect that also. In marketing research, also, some ethical issues are there. Some practices are there, we should understand, we should be aware of that, we should obey that. So in the above rules, the 5 rules we discussed now, brings an ethical issue that need to be looked at while conducting marketing research. So ethical considerations need to protect the rights of respondents and maintain specific integrity. Some of the ethical considerations are detailed in table 2.6 that we can see here. Voluntary, in the first component, voluntary participation. The meaning of the voluntary participation means respondents should be free to opt in or out of the study at any point of time. So it means there is a freedom to the respondent, that they are very totally free to opt that whether they want to stay in the research or they want to go out from the research. That should be, this is the first ethical point. Then second is informed consent. Consent, which is most important in the research, that the participants should know the purpose, benefits, risks, and funding behind the study before they agree or decline to participate. This is many a time the misuse of this is happening in research. Most of the time, the respondent who is giving the information or helping the researcher by saying the status of the information, sometimes is not aware of the study or the research. What is the purpose? What is the role of the informants? Why investigator is asking such questions? What is the risk behind it? What benefit he or she is going to get or what kind of information is required and what kind of information he is giving. Everything should be very clear and should be informed. So prior to giving the consent, the informants should know all these things. What is the purpose and what is the benefits? What is risk behind it? What is the funding behind the study before they agree? Because now sometimes we can see that investigator speaks something to the respondent and collect the information, but actually the thing is something different, as the informant is totally innocent about that. So he may give anything which is manipulated by the by the investigator. So the second ethic says that in research, participants or the respondents should have knowledge about everything about that study. So that the consent will be very clear, that whether after knowing the things, the informants will say whether he or she is agree to participate in the research or not. Then the third one is anonymity and confidentiality. The anonymity of the participants is maintained. Then the personal and identifiable data should not be collected or disclosed. Suppose something is very confidential, like government of India conducting survey on to know how many patients or what is the status of HIV/AIDS patient in India. So it is a kind of research. So in that case, it is very difficult, first of all, to identify or to catch the person who is suffered by the AIDS, HIV/AIDS, which is very confidential. As it is prevailing in society in that way, whenever I am collecting the information or as a researcher, I have to maintain the confidentiality, as because I have to reach I have to reach the priority and the confidentiality of the informants issues. So if we not maintain, then it is violating the ethical issues, or it is going beyond or neglecting the ethics of the research. Then the third one, the last but not least, the potential for harm. It means physical, social, and psychological, and all of other types of harms are kept to an absolute minimum. All research are not so easy, are not so very simple in terms. Very difficult things are there. Very very risk things are there. There also we are in that case also we are doing research. So in this case, we have to take care of this minimum risk or to maintain no harm for the respondent. Then result communication. Results should be accurately shown. We should not manipulate the result. We should not change the result at the end. The ethics says whatever result I am getting from the research, that should be clearly shown to the society. As because in the first days I am saying that research is something contribution to the society, or we can say we are solving to a solving to a problem, or we are giving the solution to the problem. So if this is the solution, this should be clearly communicated to the society so that everybody should know and understand the problem as well as the solution. So the Council of American Survey Research Organizations, CASRO, has listed the rights of all research participants, the confidentiality, transparency, and privacy. These three are more important in the research. Ensure that all participants are voluntary and that they have the rights to withdraw their consent at any point during the research process, which is in the first and foremost important for the respondents. So respondents must also be informed if they are being filmed or recorded. Suppose in my research process I require to record something or some data given by the respondent. So the respondent should be aware previously by taking the consent of the respondent. I need to go for the recording of the response. To establish with the firms you have hired to conduct the research that they are conducting in your best interest, not theirs. That is that the research begins that is that the research being run is of no benefit to their personal or family interest. It best to come to an agreement about the means of research and the cost of research before anything is begun. Be sure that beside the name of the firm that conducted the research, the purpose, and the dates of the study in any report. So it is the credit we should never forget to give to the industry or the firm who is conducting the research. Through transparency, you will show your viewers that your research is trustworthy and that is the strategies you used were effective. And on the other hand, there are also few don'ts. So don't ask the researchers for the confidential information about the respondents or their responses. Then don't dictate the methods used by the firm you are hired to conduct the research. Leave it to the research professionals, but they should explain the why of their recommendations. Next is don't ask for qualitative analytics, quantitative study, and vice versa. If you need a certain kind of data, make sure that study is done in a way that the results are useful for your organization and purposes. Last but not the least, in the list of don'ts, don't conduct the primary research, means the new data, when you can purchase the results from a secondary study for the same purpose for much less. Why pay for a costly survey or focus group when someone else has already done that? It means when we require some secondary data, we should not go for this primary data, as because we know collection of primary data takes another cost, which is purely unnecessary for the farms. So we should be very careful about the data which is already there. We should not go for that primarily collection. Then problems in conducting marketing research in India. As we know, India may be viewed more as a continent than a country. Therefore, conducting marketing research presents unique challenges. This is due to diversity of cultures, traditions, customs, behaviors, languages, and even regional dialects. It is difficult to conduct market research in India because of the vastness of nation, demographic diversity, infrastructure problem, and cultural issues. The following sections discuss some of the key issues that you will, as a researcher, would encounter when carrying out marketing research in India. India is a diverse country where one size do not fit all. When planning surveys and studies, as well as choosing local markets, researchers must be aware of cultural particularities unique of various regions of the nation. So India's vast and diverse population poses a major challenges for marketing research. Conducting national surveys requires dividing the country into hundreds of direct districts and interviewing thousands of people, demanding significant time, cost, and manpower beyond the capacity of most small or modern sized business, as it is coming under census. India's linguistic and cultural diversity make marketing research more complex. With 22 official languages and numerous dialects, questionnaires must be translated into at least 5 to 6 languages for national surveys. However, challenges in accurately translated technical terms often lead to inconsistent and non-comparable data across regions. Conducting market research in India faces several significant challenges due to the country's vast size, rural dominance, and cultural diversity. With over 70% of the population residing in rural areas where markets are growing 5 times faster than the urban ones. Reaching these regions is both costly and complex. Language diversity, poor literacy rates, transportation issues, and lack of trained personnel further complicate fieldwork. Researchers often resort to prepare interviews and small surveys or effectively. Additionally, Indian market research firms must navigate multiple languages and cultural nonsense across increasing costs. Despite recognizing the importance of the research, Indian business often demand high quality insights at low prices, contributing to a 30% manual employee attrition rate due to low salaries and difficulty retaining skilled professionals. Secondary data in India is often unreliable, outdated, or incomplete, with limited access to current census data or accurate industry statistics. So, the lack of proper sampling frame forces researchers to use non probability sampling methods, reducing the reliability and validity of survey outcomes. If we are talking about the non-probability sampling, we will later on we will discuss on the sampling. In sampling, definitely we are avoiding census. That is why we are taking the advantage of sampling. That sampling says it is a part of, or you can say it is a small subset of the population. So here the great challenges is there that how to choose and what to choose, which sampling method to be chosen. It is not always that non-probability sampling will be work. There are also few situations we will go for the probability sampling. In probability sampling also there are few four types of sampling, that simple random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, cluster samplings. According to the use and application of the or the importance of the situation, we will choose. So sometimes also some situations are like there that we should not go for the non probability sampling, rather we should go for the non probability sampling method, and reducing the reliability and validity of the survey outcome. And the effectiveness of the marketing research in India is further limited by negative managerial attitude, A core group study found that only two-thirds of executives trust research results for decision making, while 58% believe the costs outweigh the benefits. Additionally, 43% of executives felt gut instinct is more important than research, and 58% were concentrated about the time research takes. Many managers view in Indian marketing research as lacking in quality and sophistication, reducing its perceived usefulness. Despite the many challenges that lie ahead, there will be always be a demand of competent, creative market researchers. Even while automation and technology may be entering on the domain of market research, you still need people to find information and insights. Techies and problem solvers will be combined in the top market research teams for the future, who will employ technology to simplify and accelerate their investigations. India's future success as a source of market research to the world will be ensured by a high quality, precise, quick, and affordable research workforce. So we can see here many type of constants are there, and if we will talk about then the topic or the unit is covering the ethical issues. What are the contributions? What are the components they are contributing to the research, and how ethically we will conduct the research? How to prioritize the respondent confidentiality, consent, and many more things which is required to maintain the ethics is most important here. And at the end, we can say, by summarizing this unit, we can say that we explored various methods of conducting marketing research in India, including its applications, technological advancements, and ethical challenges. In the past, limited competition and restrict regulations reduced the demand for such research. However, post liberalization increased market competition, rapid technological change, and evolving consumer behavior have made data driven decisions essential. It is quite obvious here nowadays data is most important, and data, from the data we can take any kind of decision by analyzing properly and thoroughly by using the right and appropriate tools. And as for the ethics, we must have to show the exact decision or exact result what we have got from the data analysis or in our report. So, marketing managers can no longer rely solely on intuition or past experience. The time has gone that we will always rely or we will rely on the intuition or the experience. No doubt, experience is also required. The experienced person has something different idea about the solution of a particular problem, but there is also a most important part is research. We should also maintain and do that research to take any kind of decision. As a result, Indian firms now use both internal teams and external agencies for research. So, to meet growing demands, numerous research firms now offer customized and syndicated, which is known as otherwise published services across the country. So, in that module, we have covered the ethical issues and the contribution of ethics in the research, which should be maintained thoroughly and should not be violated. Otherwise, it will be misguide us and it will never give us a right decision for the manager as well as the researcher. So, with that tune, we are concluding today's discussion. Thank you for today's session.